Hello, my name is Beatrice and welcome to my channel. Today's topic is about a SWOT analysis. This podcast series was created to help transform your mind for a better business and a better life to obtain that level of success you so desire. What I learned from a SWOT analysis. Fast rewind or whatever way you say it to July 2018, where I decided to start a business based on desperation. I no longer wanted to work 9 to 5s, having other people profit from my hard work. I wanted to seek out and do something that was based on my purpose and that matched my skill sets. In my personal opinion, I felt like I was wasting time in a regular 9 to 5, not fulfilling my purpose. So I was in a position that I didn't have leisure time. I didn't have the time to self-evaluate or to have a eat, pray, love journey, but I had no choice to. Because as soon as I started to prepare on this new journey that was another business, I realized that the common denominator of my past failures was me. Now, I couldn't afford to get a therapist. I couldn't afford anything else because I was dead broke. But the SWOT analysis actually changed my life. And that may sound a little bit dramatic, but as an entrepreneur, especially if you are the only one managing your business, the business relies on you and you don't have time to waste. You could perform in your regular 9 to 5 at your 50% and still get a paycheck. As an entrepreneur, you are forced to work over 200% of yourself. And the majority of the time, we find it so hard to even succeed in any of our tasks because the common denominator is ourselves. Those who experience depression, and you're trying to start a new job, those who experience mental health issues, depression, and anxiety, and you're trying to start a new career or trying to start a new business, you find it really hard to do so because the main issue is you. Well, I'm not saying that to offend. I'm saying it. So, although you're in that situation, you are able to apply these tools to your betterment of your business and of your life. The main purpose of this channel. Well, there I was, July 2018, in desperation of money all over again, the vicious cycle of my life, realizing that I didn't want the dollars in a bank account to make me feel successful, but for me to be happy as part of my success, for me to achieve purpose as part of my entrepreneurship, and to actually do something that matters and not feel like another number in a company while I have a lot to give. So I didn't have money. I had to work a job and I had to start somewhere. So I had to do things I typically wouldn't do. I created a business plan like 5 or 6 times and realized how hard it was. It was over 6 months times when I realized that this is hard and I feel like I wasn't equipped to create a business plan. I came across a SWOT analysis, which is basically a summarized sheet of paper that you present to an investor or a bank or whoever you are trying to acquire funds from. You must show them your seriousness and your decision to achieve, to succeed despite of the circumstances. SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, that sheet of paper was much harder than a book size business plan. The reason why I was having such a hard time with that business plan wasn't because of my lack of knowledge of the industry, it was because the lack of knowledge of myself. I wasn't able to measure my strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats because I was doing everything and I felt like I had to do everything by myself, not realizing that I can polish my strengths and hire somebody for my weaknesses. Although I'm not in the point in my career to hire somebody, But I decided to sharpen up my strengths and resource out for my weaknesses. Let it be a family member, let it be a friend. But I came to realize that I can't do this on my own. When I wrote down the strengths, well, I didn't feel so strong. I was going through the worst time of my life, and strong was not in my vocabulary. At that point in my life was the hardest point of my life. I had no business starting a new business. It seemed like such a crazy concept at that time. Why? You have two children to feed and you have a situation to get out of. How are you going to get out of it? And why are you starting something new? I would tell myself, realizing that the common denominator to all my failures was myself. And it takes a lot of maturity to come to that place in your life to really analyze that you are the common denominator. Strengths and weaknesses was extremely hard for me to even get to the OT part of the SWOT analysis, which is opportunities and threats. So, how am I going to get so stuck on one letter, S, if I can't get to the other four? And I can't complete this business plan and I can't do what I need to get done because it's hard. Because I couldn't think outside the box, because I couldn't think outside my situation. SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Oh, I felt like I had a lot of threats and a lot of weaknesses, but didn't feel like I had many strengths and opportunities. But it helped me see the bigger picture in mind. It helped me see what really mattered. It helped me see what I needed to work on. Instead of complaining of the lack of strengths that I had, that list of weaknesses became shorter as I worked on them. Not a lot of businesses start so quickly and achieve so fast. It's a process. It's a reality you have to face, that if you're going to start a new business, you realize that you're in there for the long haul. And that if you're rendering a service-based business, you have to really work on yourself. One entrepreneur I genuinely admire for his work ethic is Steve Jobs. I was seeing the documentary or the movie with Ashton Kutcher, and it basically briefly went over his life. He did not have the best social skills. And what got him to the point of failing and having his business take away wasn't necessarily the economic status. Wasn't that he didn't have the money available to him. He was booted out for his lack of social skills and a lack of self-control. He realized as soon as he worked on himself was that he was able to achieve that vision he had for Apple. SWOT analysis. You have to measure your strengths, either way you feel like you have none, and your weaknesses. And either way you can't financially hire somebody to cover up your weaknesses, you can work on your weaknesses. So you could develop them to be strengths. And hopefully over time, as you become stronger mentally, as you become stronger physically, you'd be able to obtain that level of success. And once you take care of the strengths and weaknesses, you'll be able to measure appropriately your opportunities and threats. With the strengths you have, you'll be able to create opportunities you've never seen. And with those same opportunities, you would attack those threats. So you could create a plan B, C, D, E, and F. If it wasn't for your failures, you wouldn't know of the possibilities to create a new B, C, D, E, and F. The SWOT analysis I highly recommend as an entrepreneur to perform on yourself as an individual. Because majority of the time, the reason why we're not successful, the reason why not attaining what we desire is not because of the lack of resources or the people around us. It's because of us. As individuals, as entrepreneurs, we have to put our head on straight and realize we can strengthen our weaknesses. We can build opportunities based on the resources we have now, and we can conquer those threats. So I hope that this podcast help illuminate or even wake up a side of you didn't know existed, so you can obtain that level of success you so desire. I'm on that journey to obtain that level of success, and in order to do that, I had to be confronted with the truth. That is my failures, that is my weaknesses, so I can strengthen my strengths, seize my opportunities, and attack my threats. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.